coriander and lemon rice. I'm using about 1 cup of cooked rice. Then I have the juice of 1 entire lime or lemon, 1 cup of freshly chopped coriander, some salt to taste. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. Now first I'm going to take the rice as much as I require, which I'm using about 1 cup roughly, into a large bowl. Now I'm going to season this with some salt to taste. I'm using about half a teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to mix this rice and the salt well. Next, we're going to add the juice of 1 lemon or lime. And we're going to add in the coriander, which has been soaked in some salt water for about 5 minutes, washed thoroughly under running water, and then chopped up. Remember to wash your coriander very well. And now just mix everything together. And your coriander and lemon rice is all ready. Do try it out, this recipe, friends. You're going to love this recipe. It's so light and refreshing and a different take on preparing rice. So now we're going to move on to the second part of the recipe, which is the lovely Schezwan chicken, which gets ready in no time at all. You just require a few ingredients. Now here I'm using about 200 grams of boneless chicken breast, which I've cut up into small pieces. Then this is the Schezwan mix, which you get in the Kia brand. It's easily available. This is some Schezwan chutney, some soya sauce. This is some ginger garlic paste, some sesame oil. This is optional, but this gives a lovely flavor, some salt to taste, and some cooking oil or some olive oil. I like to use olive oil in my cooking. Now first I'm going to season the chicken very well with this Schezwan mix. In fact, Kia has come up with many different spices. This is not a sponsored video, but the other day when I went to Nature's Basket, I found that they had come up with so many new brands. They've come up with, so many new flavors rather, like Mexican spice, and a lot of other flavors too. So what we said, let's try out this Schezwan mix. So I put about 1 entire tablespoon, but you can also add more if you want to add, have it more on the spicier side. Now I'm going to add some soya sauce, about 1 teaspoon. Mix everything well. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste. About half a teaspoon of salt will do. Now I'm going to be adding the Schezwan chutney. Now you can always add as little or as much as you like, depending on how spicy you would like this dish. Now just mix everything together and just set it aside for 5 minutes. This doesn't need to be marinated for a very long time. And now we're going to cook the chicken. Now I am going to be heating the pan and I'm going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of this sesame oil. Now this is optional, but this sesame oil just gives a little nutty kind of, or a different kind of flavor to this dish. If you have it at hand, then you can use it. Otherwise, just use regular cooking oil or olive oil. Well, I have switched completely over to olive oil for all of my cooking. Olive oil and clarified butter, that is desi ghee. I only use these two as my cooking agents. Now I'm going to add my ginger garlic paste. It's a coarsely ground paste. You don't have to make a very fine paste. We're going to fry this till the rawness of the ginger and garlic go away. Now remember, you don't need to heat olive oil to a very high temperature. Now we're just going to add this marinated chicken, get all those lovely sauces and juices in there. And then just stir this up a little so that everything gets evenly coated. And we have to cook the chicken till it's, nicely cooked and it's not raw inside. So we're going to cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes. just stirring it around so that everything gets evenly coated with the oil and all the spices come together. And just keep stirring in the middle. Just check whether all the chicken is nicely coated with all of the marinade and the oil. Now I'm just going to be adding a little more of Schezwan chutney because we do love spicy food at my home. So you can add, or you can just add as much as you like. Now we're going to cover this and cook it for some time. Just stirring in between. See the sizzling sound? Everything is just coming together and it's going to be an awesome dish, and it doesn't take much time to prepare. So once you finish stirring, we're going to again cover and cook this for another 2 to 3 minutes because we want our chicken to be cooked well. We don't want to have any raw chicken. And here, friends, our chicken is almost ready. Now I'm going to be adding a little bit of onion. So I'm using half an onion, which I've just cubed up. This is again optional, but this adds a lovely crunch to the dish. So you can add that. When you add onion at the end, the onion remains crunchy. If you add it at the beginning, then it becomes soft. So I like to add this onion at the end for that lovely crunch. And then I'm just going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of vinegar. You can also add lime juice or vinegar just for a little bit of tanginess. If you don't like the tangy flavor, you can leave out the vinegar or the lime. It tastes good anyway. And your chicken is all ready. So you just serve up some chicken with your coriander rice and you're all set to have a lovely meal. It gets ready in no time. There's no fuss about it. It's so easy to make. So it's very light and refreshing. Some lovely coriander and lemon rice with some Schezwan chicken. Lovely, delicious recipe. So now here I've taken some baby potatoes, about 25 to 30, and I'm going to parboil them till they are just about done. We don't want to overcook the potatoes. So once they're done, you just cut them up with a knife, and if they easily cut, that means they're done. So now you can drain them. And once they come to room temperature, you can just peel them and set them aside. Now once you have peeled them, just take a sharp knife or a fork and just insert the fork and the knife like this and make little incisions. That way whatever spices etc. we add to it, it will nicely flavor the potatoes. Now in a bowl I've taken 2 tablespoons of corn flour, 1 teaspoon of pepper, some salt to taste, and 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. I'm going to mix all of this really well, and then I'm going to add about 5 tablespoons of water and make this into a nice thick slurry or paste. Next I'm going to add this paste to the potatoes and coat all the potatoes really well with this slurry or paste. And once they're nicely coated, I'm just taking about 1/4 cup of oil and I'm just going to fry the potatoes in them till they're nice and golden brown in color and nice and crispy. So fry the potatoes really well till they're nicely cooked and nicely fried. And then we're just going to drain the excess oil on some kitchen towel or napkin. And in this way, fry all the potatoes. So I've used about 25 to 30 potatoes, and that's enough for a family of 4 or for 4 people. And once that is done, we're just going to set them aside to come to room temperature. Now in a pan, I've taken about 1 tablespoon of oil. I'm using the same oil in which I fried the potatoes, but we're just going to use about a tablespoon of oil. And once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of very finely chopped garlic. Fry the garlic a bit. And next I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of very finely chopped capsicum. Fry the capsicum well too. Next goes in 1 small onion which I finely chopped. Fry the onion also. We don't want to overcook the onion, but we want it to be nice and crispy. So keep your flame between medium and high and fry the onions well. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. Mix the chili powder in well. Next I'm going to be adding 2 teaspoons of Schezwan sauce. You can also use Schezwan chutney. So this is the spicy element that we're adding. And of course the garlic and the red chili powder. So you can adjust the red chili powder and the Schezwan sauce according to, however spicy you would like it. And now mix everything in well really nicely. And we're also going to add 1 teaspoon of red chili sauce. Now this is not very spicy, but it adds a lovely flavor to this recipe. Next I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of dark soy sauce or soy sauce. Mix that in well. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of green chili sauce too. Even the green chili sauce is not very spicy, but again you can adjust all of these ingredients according to your taste. So mix in everything really nicely. And now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vinegar. And mix the vinegar in well too. And now to balance off everything, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of tomato ketchup or tomato sauce. So this will nicely balance up all the flavors. So this is our sauce that is ready. Now we just need to add some salt to taste. And then I'm also going to add a little pepper. So I've taken about just 1/4 teaspoon of pepper because we've already added pepper to the slurry. So just about a 1/4 teaspoon or 1/4 teaspoon of pepper powder. And now we're going to thicken up this gravy just a little bit. So I've just taken 1 tablespoon of corn flour. To that I've added about 3 tablespoons of water, made a small slurry, and I'm going to add that too. And now mix everything nicely. And we're going to dry this gravy a little bit. And now I'm going to add the fried potatoes into the gravy. And now we're going to mix everything really well. And we're going to cook this till all of this gravy nicely thickens up and coats the potatoes. And I'm going to add some lovely chaat masala, just 1 teaspoon of chaat masala, just to bring out the entire flavor of the dish. And now you can turn the flame off. And now we're just going to garnish it with some lovely fresh coriander leaves that we've chopped finely. And that's it, guys. Our lovely spicy chili baby potatoes are all ready to enjoy. So just dig in and have this. It's amazing. This even goes well with some fried rice too. Start with today's delicious snicker bar recipe. Now here I've taken 1 cup of peanuts. So I've just divided them into 3 halves so that I can cut them up well. And I'm going to chop them up to a very, very fine but coarse powder like this. You should have little bits of peanuts. That's why don't grind it in a mixer, but you need to have this coarse kind of a peanut texture. And I'm just going to empty this into a large mixing bowl. So watch the video till the end for a few tips on this recipe too. And in this way, I've cut up the entire 1 cup of peanuts, a little at a time. So this is the second half. Now roast your peanuts, and if you have the peel on, then peel them, let them cool down, and then chop them up. Or you can buy ready-made roasted peanuts too. So now that my whole 1 cup of peanuts is done, we're going to add some few ingredients. So I'm going to start by adding 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Next goes in half a cup of peanut butter. You can use the smooth peanut butter or the crunchy. A pinch of salt. Now this is 2 teaspoons of honey, but you can also use maple syrup, pancake syrup, or even ready-made caramel Hershey syrup. Now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla essence and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. All we have to do is now mix this mixture really, really well. So we're going to call this our nougat mixture. So mix the ingredients thoroughly. Now here I've just lined my microwave dish with some baking paper or parchment paper, and I'm going to add this nougat mix to the dish, and I'm going to just smoothen it out and flatten it out completely. This is going to be the first layer. So flatten it out at the best that you can. And now we're just going to add half a cup of roasted peanuts. 1 cup of roasted peanuts on top. So I've just taken each peanut and divided it into 2, and then I'm adding it. I'm going to just press it down and now put it into the refrigerator. Now while that is chilling in the refrigerator, we're going to prepare our caramel sauce. So to a pan, I've added 1 cup of sugar. We're going to cook this on a low to medium heat, and when the sugar starts to melt, you're just going to mix it up with your spatula like this. We're going to stir this till all of the sugar melts completely. That's very important, that you get a very smooth kind of a consistency. And once you get this consistency, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, which is at room temperature. And you're going to mix in the butter too very, very well. And now just one more ingredient to go, and that is 1/4 cup of fresh cream. And you're just going to mix all of this really, really well till you get a beautiful, smooth kind of a texture with no lumps. And that's your caramel sauce all ready. So now you can take out the tray from the fridge and add this beautiful, thick caramel sauce on top. And then you're just going to smoothen it out. And now we're going to refrigerate this for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Now after 15 to 20 minutes, it's completely set. So now it's time to demold and cut up our bars. So take off the parchment paper from the sides. And now you're just going to chop them up into small, thin pieces like this, like a small Snicker bar would be. And then cut it in the center. So you get these beautiful bars already. Just smoothen out the edges to give it a little bit of a shape. And then you want to refrigerate this for about 15 to 20 minutes. So in the meantime, I'm just going to melt some milk chocolate compound. So here I've taken 400 grams of chocolate compound, cut it up into small cubes, and I've put it on a double boiler. And I'm just going to melt this. And now our caramel, the peanut and caramel square Snickers are all ready. Now all we have to do is complete them by dipping them into this beautiful melted milk chocolate. Now generally it's in milk chocolate, but if you're a lover of dark chocolate, you can also use dark chocolate compound. But Snickers goes well with milk chocolate. It gives you the perfect Snicker bar taste. So now that my chocolate is completely melted, with the help of 2 forks, first I'm just going to take the bar and dip it into this beautiful rich sauce. And then with the help of 2 forks, I'm just going to coat it evenly on all sides. And I'm going to then lift it up and drain off all the excess chocolate. And then we're just going to place it back on the tray. And I'm going to do the same with all of this. And once that part is done, we're just going to refrigerate this for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the chocolate is nice and set. But I would recommend that you keep it for at least an hour. Then you get those lovely chilled Snicker bars, which I like. The preference is yours. So in this way, I dipped all of them into the chocolate. And at some time, at any point of time, if your melted chocolate starts to harden up, just put it back onto the double boiler till you get a lovely smooth flowing consistency. Don't add anything to the chocolate compound. And that's it. After setting it for about an hour, our lovely Snicker bars are all ready. And since they're too big to eat, so I just chop them up into smaller bits. That way you just get some bite-sized Snicker bar pieces. So you don't eat a whole lot of it, but you can cut it up into smaller pieces so you get more and you can. So let's start with today's rusk toast recipe, which is super easy. Now I'm going to crack open 3 eggs in a bowl. See that you don't get any eggshells into the bowl. Now I'm going to add half a cup of powdered sugar. So I've just taken half a cup and powdered it in my mixer. And now I'm going to whisk this mixture for 5 whole minutes till it turns from this bright yellow color to a very pale yellow color, as you will see. You can also use an electric mixer for this. So you can see now how it has changed to a very pale yellow color. So this is very important for this recipe. And now I have about 100 grams of butter, which is equal to 1/4 cup plus 3 tablespoons, which is at room temperature. If your butter is frozen, just keep it out for some time, let it come to room temperature and then add it. And then again, you're going to whisk this entire mixture till all of the butter has really mixed in well with the eggs and the sugar. Now we're going to add 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. So this is 1 teaspoon. And always when you're taking the baking powder, just run your finger like this and remove the excess. So that is the exact measurement of 1.5. And now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. And now we're going to mix everything or whisk everything really well together. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of flour or maida. And again, we're going to whisk everything together. We're not going to fold the batter in as we do generally with other cake recipes, but we're going to whisk the whole mixture together. We want this very thick kind of a batter and not a very runny batter. So see that everything gets really, gets mixed in really well. This is a very important step because we want the baking powder, the vanilla essence, everything to get mixed up really well. Now I've taken a 7 by 7 inch cake tin. Now mine is with a removable base, but you can use a general cake tin as well. The removable base ones are really easy because then you can just lift the cake up, and demold it very easily. So now I'm just applying some butter evenly all over the cake tin. Now what this does is it helps the butter paper or the baking paper to really stick well to the tin. So when you're pouring the batter in or transferring the batter in, it doesn't get, the butter paper doesn't shift from its place and the batter doesn't get stuck to the sides. It should be on the butter paper. So take your time with the butter paper and then just transfer this batter. I won't say pour because it is not of a pouring consistency. It is a very thick consistency. So just transfer the batter using a spatula and even it out so that it goes to all the corners of this cake tin. Now I leave recipes to all the different cake and cookie and all the other baking recipes that I have in my description as well as comment section. And then I've just baked it for about 25 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. And now our cake is all ready. It has come to room temperature. I'm just going to demold it and take off the butter paper. Then I'm going to turn it onto the other side. And then we're just going to cut it up into 2 equal halves. Like this, and then I'm just going to slice them into thin slices which look like toast, and I'm going to place them again on the baking paper and I'm going to bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes on one side. And then when one side is baked, we're just going to turn them over like this and again bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for another 10 minutes. They already look so delicious. They just need to get toasted onto the other side before you can really enjoy these lovely rusk toast. And once we bake them, this is our final product. Our rusk toast are all ready. So let them cool to room temperature before you enjoy them. Or you can also store them away in a clean, dry glass bottle and enjoy them with your cup of tea or coffee. So do try out this recipe, guys. It's super delicious and it's a different take altogether on the toast. And it is something you should try. Real easy recipe, so quick and easy to prepare and really delicious to eat. So if you like today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up by clicking on the thumbs up icon that you see below this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and become a part of Akshata's recipes. And once you have subscribed, click on the bell and click on all. That way whenever I put up a new video, you'll get a message for the same. Thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos. It means the world to me. And I'll catch you soon in my next recipe, sooner than you think. Till then, take care of yourselves, stay healthy, stay fit, be loving and kind to one another, and I'll catch you soon. This is Akshata signing off. Bye.